Good morning, Albany Law School and the class of 2017. My name is Dan Nolan. Welcome to the Albany Law School's 166th commencement ceremony, and congratulations to the class of 2017. I would ask you all to please rise as we begin with the national anthem, sung by Brenda Badam, class of 2017.
Thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Brenda. Not only can Brenda sing, but Brenda has already passed the bar in February of 2017. Okay, please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to call these proceedings to order. As chair of the board, I welcome you on behalf of the trustees, the faculty, the administration, and the students of Albany Law School to the 166 commencement exercises. This is a proud day for all of us. I graduated in 1978, and I remember that day like it was yesterday. The weather was slightly different, high 40s, gale force wind, and just a touch of rain. I remember everything about it. So take a look around you, because you too will remember this day for a long time. Once you graduate from this institution, you all become members of the Albany Law School family. We're far-flung. We have judges, we have senior politicians, we have had past presidents, we have a distinguished history for Albany Law School. In fact, someone at the board meeting yesterday described it as genetic swagger. You are now part of that family. Make sure that you remember Albany Law School, because we want to share in your successes, but we also want to help you during those periods of turbulence in your lives. Please come back and see us often. I'd like to recognize the legacy families here today. Albany Law alumni who have a son, a daughter, a grandchild, sibling, niece, or nephew graduating today. We appreciate all of your support. In addition to our esteemed faculty and members of our Board of Trustees who are here with me on the stage, I would like to take a moment to recognize a few of our special guests in the audience. Victoria Graffio, class of '88. I saw Victoria here. Dan Stewart, Dan is here somewhere, and the Honorable Diane Davis, class of 91. I would also like to acknowledge members of the Albany Law School family who are no longer with us. This past year, the law school community mourned the passing of Saul Greenberg, longtime Albany County District Attorney, class of 1948, Edgar Sandman, class of 46, and a former trustee for many years of the law school, William Hoblock, class of 1960, and Associate Judge of the Court of Appeals, Sheila Abdus Salam. Albany Law School was strengthened by their support and friendship, and we will miss them all. It is now my pleasure to introduce the 18th President and Dean of the Albany Law School, Dean Alicia Ouellette, class of 1994. Dean?
Thank you, Dan. I would like to mention that this is Dan Nolan's fourth and final year as chair of our Board of Trustees. He's been a tremendous leader. We're grateful for his service, and we're going to miss you. Graduates, a quick word about your class. When you started, your average age was 23. At that time, you ranged from 19 years old to your early 50s. You are now all old enough to drink. Well, most of you are New Yorkers. You also came to us from Alaska, California, Missouri, China, India, Jamaica, and all over the United States. Everyone entered law school with a bachelor's degree. Some of you came to us with a master's degree or a doctorate degree. You all now have one thing in common. You're about to receive a brand new law degree. And you will use this degree to do amazing things. You're off to jobs in public service, in big and small law firms, in the Senate, in prosecutors' offices, and in public defenders' offices, in the financial industry, in banks, and in health organizations. You're off to make change in the world, to work for justice, and to make a difference in the lives of others. And soon, you will all share another amazing accomplishment, passing the bar. Today you celebrate. You've earned it. You've accomplished so much to get here. Celebrate tomorrow and Sunday, and maybe a little bit next week. But after that, and you know I have to say this, you're going to say goodbye to your family. You're going to turn off your social media. You're going to take up residence in the basement of the library, and you're going to study, study, study. There are no shortcuts. The work you have ahead is hard. We know that. We've all done it, and we're here for you as you do it too, because it is going to be a tough couple weeks. But the mantra that I want you to have, the thing I want you to say to yourself every morning, one and done, one and done, one and done. You can make it happen. Now to the families who are here and the loved ones. Some of your graduates have asked me to say a word to you about what the students are about to undertake as they start to study for the bar exam. And I want to acknowledge your students have much to celebrate. And we'll talk a lot about that throughout the day today. But your graduate is also facing the hardest, most intense professional challenge that they will face in their careers, and they need your support. And we know you love them. Loving a student through the bar exam is a special kind of challenge. They're going to need you to be there, to understand that they're grumpy. They're going to need you. Some of them will ask you to do their laundry or to feed them. But they're also going to need you to give them the time and the place to study, because they really need to do it. And so if they say to you, I can't go to Aunt Sally's this weekend, or I'm not able to take a shift at the family store, the best way to support them is to say, good for you, do what you need to do, one and done. It's really hard what they're about to do, but you only want to live through it once. They're ready. They're ready. They can all succeed. They will all succeed. If any of your students has any issues, call me, call any member of the faculty. We are all here for them. We're in this together. We're going to get this done. I'll stop talking about the bar exam now and get back to the fun stuff. I'm jumping ahead. Because today really is about celebrating accomplishments. And getting to this moment is a tremendous achievement. It is the result of hundreds of hours of hard work. Members of the class of 2017, remember when you started out just a few years ago, you had no idea what F-second meant or what summary judgment was or what adverse possession meant, right? No idea. Now you know those things. You've come so far, you've learned and endured so much, and you have so much to be proud of. When you started, I told you that we, your faculty, were invested in your success. I hope that you felt that along the way. You've made it through an incredibly rigorous program. You've represented clients in our clinics. You've passed the hardest exams. You've withstood the Socratic method, the lawyering memo, the rule against perpetuities, moot court, law review, law journals, late night study sessions, TWEN internships, symposia, and the law prom. You've done it all. And we've seen you grow into emerging professionals, ready to make a difference in the world. You're ready to go out into the world. You should feel confident about moving into the next stage. I know that each one of you is going to have great success. Collectively, you will join a group of alumni that will continue to have an impact on the region, the state, the nation, and the world, as we have for the past 166 years. To all of you, stay in touch. We really mean it when we say it. We want to know how you're doing. Some of you will be with us throughout the summer for bar prep. Stop by for lunch. We'll be around. Many of you will be with us through your job search. We're here for you for that. And we're here for you to celebrate your successes. Let us know when you get the promotion. Let us know when you get the job. We want to celebrate with you. The faculty, staff, and alumni community all care about you. We're rooting for you, and we expect great things. So now I'd like to ask the class to thank some very important people. Graduates, would you please stand, turn around, and face the audience? The parents, grandparents, friends, spouses, partners, and children before you have supported you throughout your law school journey. They have experienced with you your fears and anxieties, celebrated your triumphs, and loved you throughout. I'd like to ask the class to acknowledge and show their appreciation for the sacrifices of their loved ones by giving them a round of applause. Thank you, families. All right, you can be seated. So today is about celebrating our graduates and their accomplishments, and we also celebrate some of the community that have created opportunities for you along the way. So we're going to give out some awards, and I am going to start. Wow. Well, this is a special award that was inaugurated in 2013 and is given to the outgoing president of the New York State Bar Association. The award recognizes not only contributions of the president of the Bar Association to the legal profession generally, but more specifically, the connection of the New York State Bar Association to Albany Law School, our students, and our alumni. The connection between this year's awardee and our school could not have been stronger. Our awardee, Claire Guttikens, while not an Albany Law graduate, made a point to be present on our campus when asked. She hosted our students at the bar's offices for a number of events. She is the 119th president of the 75,000-member New York State Bar Association and has been an effective leader, focusing her presidency on closing the justice gap, promoting pro bono service, and urging the legal profession to adopt technology to assist clients in times of social and economic changes. Claire, could you come on up? Okay. For exemplary service to the legal profession, it's my distinct honor to award you the Dean's Medal. Thank you so much for everything.
Whoops. Wonderful. Wow. Good morning, and thank you, Dean Willett, who I now, having spent this year, now it's Alicia, not just the Dean. Thank you for your kind introduction, and thank you for the great honor of receiving the Dean's Medal. To the faculty, the trustees, distinguished guests, and especially the graduates and their families and loved ones, I bring the warm regards of the entire New York State Bar Association and my sincere thanks for including me in letting me share this day, your special day. I very distinctly remember my law school graduation 34 years ago, although not exactly for the exalted reasons one would hope. I had pulled my back out a few days before graduation. I think it was the release of stress. And in order to make it through the long graduation ceremony on an uncomfortable folding chair, I attended graduation with a board and a pillow strapped to my back below my robe. I felt and looked like a turtle, and in fact, my friends and family said just that. Fortunately, I feel fine today, and all of you look great. But that experience leads me into my thanks to my husband, Art Perlman, who is in the audience, for all of his love and support that have made my career, my family, my New York State Bar Association presidency, and this medal possible. That support dates back to typing my law review article and over 300 footnotes on a typewriter before there was word processing, to packing there was some benefit of pulling out your back. I was lying on the bed, he was packing the apartment, to bringing our kids down to meet me for dinner when my work schedule was so crazy, to so many other things. So I thank you and I love you. I have been president of the State Bar Association for almost a year, and one of my most rewarding and fun experiences has been meeting, working with, and playing with law students and young lawyers who truly are the future of our profession. At the State Bar, we call Albany Law our hometown law school. I've had the honor of greeting the newbies who came as 1Ls last fall, joining in the celebration for graduates who had just passed the bar, and hosting dinner with a lawyer for students at the Bar Center. And each year our association hires clerks, law clerks from Albany Law's talented pool of students. We have a great partnership. Now briefly to today's honorees, real honorees, the graduates. Take a deep breath. Feel good about yourself. It took hard work, stamina, and intelligence to get into law school and to get through it. For most of us, law school is a wonderful and humbling experience. Now you know that you can do anything. Yes, the bar exam looms, as the dean has said, but really that's probably nothing compared to your 1L year. So have faith in yourself. We have faith in you. And as she said, be sure to thank the people who love you and who helped you get where you are today, because their support made it possible. I commend you for choosing the law. You are joining a profession that exists to serve others. As a lawyer, you truly can make a positive difference in people's lives. It's a wonderful opportunity and a solemn responsibility. Lawyers are called counselors for a reason. The word implicates trust. To be an effective counselor, you must be worthy of that trust. Lawyers, therefore, are held to high ethical standards, and it's our duty and our honor to meet and champion those standards. A life in the law is a lifetime of learning. The more you learn, the better lawyer you will be. When you don't know something, don't be afraid to ask questions. And when you need help, ask for it. There will be people there, including your law school, to support you. And when you make mistakes, and you will, we all do, that's when you'll learn the most valuable lessons. And be bold and take a chance to follow your passion, whether it's within or outside the law. Last night, I had dinner with your trustees, and I met illustrious Alumni Law School alumni on the board who have found great success in finance, in real estate development, a title company, law firms, of course, and on the bench. And of course, you have a rather illustrious graduate in our governor. Maintain your networks, friends, your alumni association, and bar associations, including the State Bar. Our Young Lawyers section is there for you, as are sections in your substantive areas of practice. It's easy for a law job to be so consuming that you lose much-needed camaraderie and perspective. But you need to be able to discuss issues and ideas and brainstorm with colleagues. It will make you a better lawyer and a happier person. One of the core values of our noble profession is to ensure that justice exists for all, not just those who have the money to pay for it. So, lawyers give back. You no doubt have seen in your clinic and other pro bono work in law school that it really is rewarding. So whatever your area of practice, you have valuable critical thinking skills, an ability to get to the heart of a problem and solve it, and a knowledge of the law that can make a real difference for those in need as well as for other clients. So now, congratulations. I look at you and I see the future of the profession I love, and I know that the future is bright. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. It's now an Albany Law School tradition to honor some of the people who make a difference in your lives every day as students, our faculty. Each year at commencement, Albany Law gives 3 separate awards to faculty to recognize their outstanding contributions in the areas of service, scholarship, and teaching. I'd like to invite last year's winners to present the awards in their categories. Dean Rosemary Queenan will present the Faculty Award for Service, Professor Melissa Brieger will present the Faculty Award for Teaching, and Professor Christian Sundquist will present the Faculty Award for Scholarship. Will you come on up?
Good morning and congratulations. The Faculty Excellence in Service Award is given to a faculty member who has made significant contributions to the welfare of the law school. This year's winner has given outstanding service to the law school as well as to our local, state, and international communities. In addition to her important work in the clinic, representing detained and non-detained immigrants, she has organized and participated in training hundreds of lawyers and advocates to further assist immigrant families. Her work for the immigrant community over the past few months alone is deserving of recognition. But beyond that, she provides meaningful service on committees and working groups and has been a leader on collaborative projects to improve access to justice through our affiliation with University of Albany and various committees such as the New York State Bar Association's Committee on Children and the Law. Please join me in congratulating Professor Sarah Rogerson, this year's awardee for the Faculty Excellence in Service Award.
Good morning and congratulations again. The Faculty Excellence in Teaching Award is given annually to a faculty member who has demonstrated superb teaching at Albany Law School. Current and former students describe this year's winners in literally glowing terms. a guiding light, a brightest star, a lifetime mentor, and truly one of the best parts of Albany Law School. This professor was repeatedly described as expecting nothing short of excellence from each student and challenging her students to reach beyond their goals. Please join me as we congratulate the 2017 Faculty Excellence in Teaching awardee, Professor Christine Cheung.
Good morning. Every year we honor a faculty member for their excellence in scholarship. So the scholarship award goes to a faculty member that embodies excellence in scholarship. And my colleague certainly embodies this spirit, given the remarkable body of impactful scholarship he has produced since joining the Albany Law faculty just a few years ago. During the last 2 years, and this may not sound impressive to you, but it absolutely is, he has published, just wait for it, you're going to be shocked, 5 law review articles, 1 book on how cities will save the world, which hopefully includes Albany, 3 book chapters, scores of articles and blog posts on Huffington Post, Medium, and other news outlets, several co-authored amicus briefs, including one that coincidentally was referenced by the Ninth Circuit in oral arguments earlier this week. And he has an additional 4 law review articles forthcoming this year. Professor Ray Brescia's astounding work clearly exemplifies excellence in scholarship, and the law school is certainly fortunate to have him. Please join me in celebrating Professor Ray Brescia.
Don't we have a great faculty, right? I now have the honor of conferring the degree of Honorary Doctor of Laws on someone who well deserves it, the Honorable May D'Agostino, United States District Judge for the Northern District of New York. We make this award in recognition of Judge D'Agostino's lifetime of achievement and service as an attorney and federal judge, and especially in recognition of her dedication and service to Albany Law School. Let me tell you a little bit about the judge. President Barack Obama nominated Judge D'Agostino in 2011, and the Senate confirmed her nomination by a vote of 88 to 0. 88 to 0. That doesn't happen much. At the time of her appointment, she was a trial attorney with the law firm of D'Agostino, Crackler, McGuire, and Cardona. She had tried numerous cases in the areas of medical malpractice, products liability, negligence, and civil assault. In testifying on behalf of her nomination, Senator Chuck Schumer professed to be, quote, amazed at the acclaim she received. He said, quote, May D'Agostino's reputation as a fair-minded, honorable, practical lawyer is incredible. She will be an outstanding judge. That prediction came true. Judge D'Agostino is a highly respected jurist who dispenses justice with integrity, wisdom, and fairness. The judicial bench is not the first place she's dominated a court. She was a fierce small forward for the Siena College basketball team, where she was a force on the court, being quick and versatile. We also know Judge D'Agostino to be warm and humble and kind. Quick story about her roots that I've been told. When the federal government was conducting her background check to ensure that she was fit for the federal bench, they asked her to prepare paperwork on every job she'd ever had. She couldn't find any papers to prove her first job, which was at Burger King. But she found a photo of herself working there in a French fry uniform. When she handed the photo to the agent, he didn't flinch, but placed it in the file. We assume that the judge, dressed in a French fry uniform, is still in her federal file. While the judge is not a graduate of the law school, we're delighted that she has adopted us as her home school. She's served on the board of trustees. She teaches a course in medical malpractice. She hires our graduates, and she's a regular on our campus. She's served on panels. She's mentored our students, including many of you. And she's shared her wisdom with all of us in so many ways. Today, we make it official and adopt Judge D'Agostino as our own. Judge, could you please come forward? All right. By virtue of the authority vested by the Regents of the University of the State of New York in the trustees of Albany Law School, and by them and me, I confer upon the Honorable Judge May D'Agostino the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa with all the rights and privileges appurtenant thereto.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm a little more emotional than I anticipated. I'm born and raised in Albany, and I spend a lot of time at the law school, so this honorary degree means everything to me. And I'm very grateful to the dean and president, to the administration, to the faculty and the board for bestowing this wonderful award on me today. And I very much appreciate the French fry story, which is absolutely true. Going through the process of trying to become a federal judge is not for the weak of heart, because in addition to having to prove to the FBI that I worked at Burger King, one day when I was handling a litigation matter in Orlando, I got a call that Senator Schumer's Judicial Committee needed to see me early the next morning in New York City to interview me. So I dropped everything in Orlando and I flew to New York. For the first time, I told my brother that I was under consideration to be a judge. And when I got off of the airplane at JFK and the interview was just a few hours away, my brother said to me, "You're not going to the interview wearing a shirt with palm trees on it." So he took me to Macy's and he told someone in the suit department, "Get a suit for my sister and put what she is wearing in a bag." And then he took me to the makeup counter and he said to a young woman at the makeup counter, "Put some makeup on her, but don't make her look like a rockette. She has an important interview." So generally it all worked out and I'm so happy to be here. I just want to take a few minutes to talk to the graduates and tell you also that as part of that process to become a federal judge, I was asked continuously, what is the most influential case you ever had in your 30-year career as a trial lawyer? Now, some of you might think that it was a multi-million-dollar medical malpractice case or a products liability case, but it wasn't that. It only took me a nanosecond to answer that question when I went through the process. It was the case that I lost, and that I lost resoundingly with a thud. Many years ago, a young man and his mother came to me. The young man had been terribly wounded by a gunshot. He was a student at a state university. A hostage taker had taken the entire classroom hostage, And when a long rifle was pointed at my client, he heroically reached for the rifle. He saved many lives that day, but he was shot in the abdomen and the groin. The injuries were life-threatening, and when I tell you they were life-altering, you must believe me on that. They were life-altering injuries. The mother and the son asked me, can you bring a lawsuit against the state of New York for these permanent injuries? I did the research, I talked to the family, and I knew early on that it would be nearly impossible to successfully sue the state of New York, because to do so, I had to prove that the state owed the victim a special duty. You graduates all know that. And I could not prove that the state owed the victim a special duty. But the family was so compelling, and the story was so compelling, that with the consent of my law partners, I commenced the lawsuit, knowing full well that we would be spending thousands of dollars, probably with no chance of recovery. That's what we call trying to do good. I tried to turn the case away from special duty, and I argued that had the state done some simple things, had they maintained the property better, had they had a working phone in that classroom, perhaps some of this tragedy could have been averted. But the court saw this case exactly for what it really was, a special duty case. And both the lower court and the appellate division tossed the case. I was devastated for my clients. Not one penny for these serious and life-altering injuries. But 5 years later, I received a call from the Crime Victims Compensation Board. Money had become available to the victim. Working with my clients and the board, my client was awarded a significant sum of money. Not a sum that fully compensated him for what happened, but a sum that was able to change his life in ways that I couldn't even enumerate for you here today. So out of the depths of despair, out of trying to do something right, something good happened. That money was used to help him become a father. Taking that case taught me about the power of my law degree. It did seem hopeless, and I did lose, but there was still light at the end of the tunnel. As I say, he was able to become a father. The case taught me about trying to give a victim a voice. The case created a lifelong bond between me and that family. I called them last week to seek their permission to even tell this story, and they wanted it told. That case taught me that as a lawyer, you have to be very, very committed to your client, and you have to be present in their lives in a meaningful way. So I want you graduates to know that your career is going to take many twists and turns. You don't even know right now where it's going to go. A lot of it is going to be luck and timing, and of course, a lot of hard work and commitment. But you will not measure your career in 30 years in terms of how many cases you won, how many transactions you successfully completed, how many closings you were able to carry out. You're going to measure your career in terms of whether you were present in a meaningful way in the lives of your clients and the people that you will affect. You know, there are a lot of people who like to tell lawyer jokes. There are a lot of people who like to disparage what we do. I believe practicing law is sacred, and I don't let anyone ever do that in my presence, because I'll tell you something, graduates. Everyone has a great lawyer joke until they need a lawyer. Don't let people disparage what you do. You are about to embark on what I believe to be the greatest career ever. I want to close by quoting the words of the Reverend Jesse Jackson in a speech that he gave in the 1980s. He said, "I want young Americans to do me a favor, just one favor. Exercise the right to dream. Face reality, of course, but dream of a future that ought to be, that should be. Move from the sadness of reality into the dream of a brighter future. Let hope and imagination serve as tools for progress and success. Let love motivate you to work for the human family. Our time has come. Our time has come. Suffering breeds courage. Courage breeds faith. Faith will prevail. Our time has come. Graduates, your time has come. I know many of you. I've taught some of you have clerked for me, some of you have interned for me. Everybody on this stage knows that this class is special, and you are. You're going to do great things. Your time has come. Congratulations and best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
One more thing. Okay. So I have one more little surprise for the judge. When Judge Sotomayor came to visit us at the law school, we started a new tradition of recognizing people who have played basketball with a very special gift to recognize that we have a basketball court in the center of our law school and that we would like for the basketball players to come back. So I have for Judge D'Agostino an official Albany Law basketball. Thank you. You want to do a picture? Enjoy it. Here.
Thanks very much.
She doesn't want to play right now. And now it is my absolute pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, David McCraw. You're in for a real treat. David McCraw is the Vice President and Deputy General Counsel for the New York Times. He is the newspaper's primary litigator. Mr. McCraw is responsible for providing legal counsel to the Times newsroom on issues such as libel, freedom of information, access to the courts, and news gathering. Before joining the New York Times in 2002, he was the Deputy General Counsel for the New York Daily News and a litigation associate at Clifford Chance and the firm Rogers & Wells. Before that, he clerked for Judge Richard Simons at the New York Court of Appeals. Mr. McCraw is among the nation's most important and well-respected and talented media lawyers. His work puts him at the center. Every time we get to the good parts, we get a little splashing. His work puts him at the center of daily front-page battles over a free press, open government, and fake news. Given what he does, we have to wonder what's happening. His work is a prime example of the impact an Albany law degree can make. As a strong advocate for the First Amendment and a dogged enforcer of the Freedom of Information laws, he was on the front lines of the first WikiLeaks episode. He's filed more than 20 lawsuits against the Obama administration regarding freedom of information requests, and he has engaged in high-profile legal conflicts with President Trump's lawyers. He drew particular attention all around the world when his letter that rejected a request to retract a story went viral. I know that a particular former Albany Law School lawyering professor took special delight in the strength of the legal writing in that letter and contacted Dave McCraw to essentially say, A+, job well done. Mr. McCraw is active in pro bono work in many parts of the world on issues of press freedom and freedom of information, and has been described as one of the best media lawyers in the country and a tireless defender of the First Amendment. He also plays a major role in the paper's security effort to oversee journalists, where he helps lead crisis response for kidnappings or when journalists are detained. His commitment to the rule of law is inspiring. As a member of our Board of Trustees, he's a model alumnus who gives generously of his time and energy to Albany Law School. He was our alumnus in residence in 2013, where he spent a day in the classroom with students and faculty sharing his experience and advice. We know from that day, and I remember personally from Mr. McCraw's valedictorian speech, that we're going to get a good speech today. So without any further ado, please join me in welcoming David McCraw, class of 1992.
Thank you. I remember her when she was a kid, and I lorded it over her at Law Review. And I hope that, although I've been told that the lights flicker when the dean tells a lie, so much for that introduction. Listen, I'm honored to be here. I think it's fair to say to you, the class of 2017, that this is a day of joy and wonder. Joy because you've done it. You have done what you set out to do 3 years ago. You've earned a law degree, and I mean you earned it. And wonder, because I can tell as you sit there that you are filled with wonder. And it's the same wonder that all your family members and friends, supporters out there are wondering too. And it's summed up in the sentence, I wonder how long this guy's going to talk for. Wonder no more. The answer is 12 minutes. Just one word of advice to the graduates. If I happen to go over my 12 minutes and you find yourself sitting there thinking, hey, I could sue this guy for breach of contract, know that I admire your spirit, but please promise me that you will take a really, really good bar review course. 25 years ago, I stood on this stage addressing my graduating class. 3 years earlier, I had arrived at law school as a 34-year-old college professor on a one-year leave from my job with no clear vision of what I was doing. I drove every day the first year from Ulster County, 60 miles each way, with my infant son strapped to his car seat, the two of us on our own personal missions, I going to law school, he on his way to daycare. We had our rituals. Almost every day when we hit the Albany city limits, I would crank up the sound system to play our 2 theme songs really, really loud. One of the truly great things about having a baby ride shotgun with you in a car is he cannot tell you that your choice in music sucks. That, I can assure you, does not last. We always played the Neville Brothers first, a song called If Something Is Wrong With My Baby, Something Is Wrong With Me. That one was obvious, and oh, was it true. But the second one was the song that sort of captured our whole experience. The chaos of juggling daycare and law school and commuting and studying and the baby upcheck and the emergency diaper changes. It was a Jackson Browne song called Anything Can Happen. Of course, I didn't need Jackson Browne to tell me that anything can happen. I was in law school. I took law school exams. A law school exam is a monument to the idea that anything can happen. Sadistic professors spend their entire semester thinking up strange and demented hypotheticals. You know what I'm talking about. Asteroids hit a bank, starting a fire that destroys the last will and testament of Mr. A, while also blowing the pens out of the hand of Mr. B and Mr. C, who were just about to sign a contract, while nearby Mr. D, the intended third-party beneficiary of said contract and the duly designated executor of the will and testament, was blown into the air and landed in another jurisdiction right on top of a fox that had just been shot simultaneously by 2 hunters. Discuss! Standing on this stage 25 years ago, I spared my classmates a discussion of Jackson Browne lyrics and the musical tastes of infants. Instead, I talked about what I called the life-altering lessons that we would take away from Albany Law School. Of course, I had no idea what I was talking about. What did I know about practicing law? But here is the amazing thing, graduates. I actually got it right. Anything can happen. Here's what I said that day. Law is not merely abstract principles floating disembodied somewhere above the Earth's surface. It is instead about taking those principles and applying them in a pragmatic and meaningful way in the lives of real people in need. If being a graduate of Albany Law School means anything, it means being the kind of lawyer people count on. In 25 years since then, and I'm telling you, it is a world where anything can happen, I have always prided myself on being that kind of lawyer, an Albany lawyer, a lawyer who shows up, who keeps trying, who wakes up the next morning trying to figure out why whatever he did yesterday didn't work and what he can do today to make it happen. That was something I learned at Albany Law School. I hope you learned it too. One of my jobs at the Times, as the dean said, is to be the crisis response manager, to be the guy in charge of getting our people back when they go missing or get kidnapped or detained overseas. It's one of those jobs that tests you as a lawyer and tests you as a person. That was certainly true in 2011 when 4 of our journalists disappeared in Libya while covering the Civil War. We had no idea what had happened to them. The one thing we knew that day, though, was that they had been carrying a satellite phone, and we knew that for as long as that phone was on, it would have been transmitting their geographical location, the longitude and latitude of where they were. There was just one problem. The sat phone company wouldn't give us the data from the phone. We asked, they refused. The company was headquartered in the Middle East, and finally, I got a senior executive to come to the phone. I explained that we needed the geographical coordinates, the latitude and longitude, that it was a matter of life and death. He said it was illegal for him to give it to us. We argued about the law. We argued over who owned the data. We argued about privacy. He wouldn't budge. Around and around we went. I was exasperated. And then he said something. "Oh, Mr. David," he said, "I hear what you were saying. You know, sometimes your head speaks and sometimes your heart speaks. And my head, it is saying, Mr. David, I cannot legally give you this information. I'm so sorry." And then there was a pause, and he said, "But Mr. David, you know my heart is saying something else. It is saying that you should type into Google right now 31.897 north at 165702 east." I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. The guy had given me the coordinates. I hung up the phone. I turned to my computer. I madly typed the numbers in. Some obscure location in the middle of Poland popped up. I was pretty sure that the Gaddafi government had not taken our people to Poland. I was also pretty sure I had written them down wrong. So I took a deep breath. I dialed back and I said, "Mr. Atta, could you go back to the part where your heart is talking?" Our people were ultimately released, and I worked hard to make that happen. But to me, that phone call speaks to how my life as a lawyer unfolds. You are asked to do things you were never prepared to do. You stumble forward, you persist, you do the best you can, you make mistakes, and you always have the courage to call back. As some of you recall, and as the dean mentioned, I wrote a letter last October to Donald Trump's lawyer defending the right of the New York Times to tell the story of 2 women who said they had been groped by Mr. Trump years earlier. It was a particularly interesting experience for me. The Times decided to post the letter online. I was fine with that. I've spent my professional career fighting for greater transparency and openness. I sued the Obama administration 31 times because I thought officials were keeping secret documents that should be public. I believe in transparency. I believe in openness. But let me tell you something. You don't know anything about transparency and openness until your employer posts your phone number and your email address on the internet. Yes, that information was in the letterhead. My inbox exploded instantaneously. My phone began ringing. I was teaching at NYU Law School that semester, and one of my law students wanted to know, "So how does that work? Did you get permission to send a letter?" That would be a letter that said, "Please sue us. Make my day." I have a glass office, and about 10 minutes after that letter was posted online, I found out one of the not-so-great things about having a glass office is you can see when the CEO of your company is walking towards your office with a certain look on his face and a certain letter in his hand. in that instance, you begin to wonder whether it was such a super hot idea to send a bring it on letter to the next president of the United States without first checking with senior management. Our CEO, Mark Thompson, is an Englishman. He walked right in and cut to the chase. He held the letter up in front of me. Brilliant letter, he said, but there's one thing I'll never understand. Why do you Americans insist on capitalizing after a colon? That could have gone much worse, friends. And you can be sure there's not one capitalization in this speech. I learn. The response to the letter was incredible. I'm told 2 million people read the letter online. Law professors wrote to tell me they were teaching it in their class. Famous writers praised my writing. Famous lawyers praised my legal ability. 3 women proposed to me on Twitter. 2 literary agents approached me about writing a book. A Greenwich Village artist asked me to be in his art exhibit. A couple of weeks ago, a woman in Florida wrote to me to ask if she could have a copy of the letter because she wanted to post it in her car window. I hope she has glass coverage, okay? I won't lie to you. It's nice to have your work recognized, to be praised. And it's nice to have people believe in you. In fact, that's essential if you want to be a lawyer. But you know what's even nicer? Knowing how to believe in yourself. Because here's the thing about your moments of success. They are a lot like your mind-blowing screw-ups. They pass. They pass. And the next morning, you still have to get up and figure how to be a lawyer people can count on. In the aftermath of the Trump letter, I was asked often how I became a First Amendment lawyer at the New York Times. I actually had my first job in-house as a lawyer at the New York Daily News. That's where I got my start. Here's how it happened. It's a good story for a graduation day like this one. In 2000, I learned that the newsroom lawyer at the Daily News was leaving for CNN. I was working at a law firm, and I was really interested in trying to get the job. I'd been a journalist, and I'd been a journalism professor. I cared deeply about free speech issues. I called the headhunter handling the search. We had a great conversation. I liked her. She liked me. Then she said there was nothing she could do for me. Albany was not on the list of law schools that the Daily News legal department was interested in considering. That was a letdown. Of course, it bothered me. And I could have sat around and been disappointed and spent a few days thinking about how unfair life was. That was one option. Or I could have done exactly what I did do. Figure out how to get to the general counsel of the Daily News, make my case directly to him, and get the job. That is what I did. And you know what that is, my fellow graduates? A total Albany move. In rereading my speech from 25 years ago, there was something else I got right. I ended the speech by thanking my professors, my family, and my classmates. You have spent these last 3 years learning to think with your head, as my friend at the phone company would say. But today, spend a little time thinking with your heart. You stood on someone else's shoulders. You took someone else's hand when you needed it most, and you sure as hell borrowed somebody's course outline along the way. Thank them all, and then go back to the serious business at hand today, feeling triumphant. Not just anything happened. Something very specific and very special happened. You made it. Welcome to my world. I'm glad to have you. Thank you.
Well done. Very well done.
Thank you so much. We're so honored that you were here. Great words. I want to point something out that you may not know. Mr. McCraw and I both took a class together, and the class that we took together was taught by someone who's retiring after 39 years of service. That teacher must have done pretty well to produce this guy, right? Could we all give a round of applause for Professor Steve Gottlieb? Professor Gottlieb is a nationally known scholar. He's a great teacher, and he's been a great colleague. We're all going to miss him. He's going to have a special job today. He's going to be one of 4 faculty hooders. And so some of you will be blessed to be hooded by Professor Gottlieb. So now we get to the part that you have all been waiting for, the conferring of degrees. So I'd like to invite Chair Nolan to the center podium, Dean Mayer to the side podium, as well as our faculty hooders to their place. So Professor Gottlieb, Professor Keith Hirakawa, and Professor Ray Brescia learned yesterday that the Board of Trustees promoted them from associate professor to full professor, so they will be hooders. And in what is, for an academic, the greatest moment of your professional career, Professor Sarah Rogerson learned that she was granted tenure by Albany Law School, so she will also join us. So now it is my distinct honor to present we have a candidate for the LLM degree. Could you please stand? Chair Nolan, for the conferring of the LLM degrees, I present this candidate.
Thank you, Dean. Under the authority vested by the Regents of the University of the State of New York and the trustees of Albany Law School, and by them and me, I declare that the Master of Laws and Letters degree about to be awarded are rightly and duly conferred upon successful completion of all degree requirements, and they convey to the worthy men and women on whom they are conferred all the rights, privileges, and obligations immemorially due the academic community. Associate Dean Connie Mayer will now announce the candidate's name.
Sabrine A. Alasiri.
All right, you ready? It's my distinct honor to present the candidates for the Juris Doctor degree. Members of the class of 2017, please stand. Chair Nolan, I present to you the Albany Law School class of 2017.
Thank you, Dean Ouellette, and unfortunately you have to hear this again. Under the authority vested by the Regents of the University of the State of New York and the trustees of Albany Law School, and by them and me, I declare that the Juris Doctor degrees about to be awarded are rightly and duly conferred upon successful completion of all degree requirements, and they convey to the worthy men and women on whom they are conferred all the rights and privileges and obligations immemorially due the academic community. Associate Dean Mayer will now announce each candidate's name.
Mara Du Afzali. Ibrahim Ahmed. Kayla D. Algier. Catherine Anthony. Rachel L. Arnaud.
Careful.
Amanda Raquel Arroyo. Amanda Jean Aricchio. Amanda's diploma will be given by Dean Rosemary Queenan. Christopher J. Babigars. Brenda T. Badham, diploma presented by Professor Mary Lynch. James A. Bartosik, Jr., diploma given by Dean Queenan. Elizabeth S. Varese, in absentia. Brian P. Bissett. Katie L. Birchenoff. Tyler Blake. Garrett Brazil. Danielle M. Brennan. Eric J. Brenner. Oh. Amy J. Campbell. Nicole L. Campion. Christopher C. Capoccia. Corey J. Carmelo. Patsy Castiglia. No hugging. Jonathan P. Catania. Jonathan's diploma is being presented by Professor Joseph Connors. P.K. Chakrabarti. Kayla C. Champagne. Kayla's diploma is being presented by her uncle, Judge Derek Champagne. Amanda Clark. Christopher M. Connors. David W. Crossman. David's diploma is being presented by Professor Nancy Moore. Stephen T. Cummings. Kaylin Dater. Adriana C. DeLeon. Adriana's diploma is being presented by Assistant Dean Nadia Castriota. Anthony J. DeMarco. Okay, I've promised not to hold this ceremony up. I've been allowed 2 sentences, so here goes. I am so delighted to announce the name of this next graduate. In announcing his name, I am in the position of every parent in the audience. Oh, I am going to cry. In feeling joy and pride and honestly a huge sense of relief. This is my awesome, wonderful son, Michael Joseph DeRue. And that's not to take away from this other awesome graduate who's about to walk across the stage, Andrew Diffley. Adrielle Douglas. Kevin J. Dwyer. Peter Evangelatos. Thomas Feen Jr. in absentia. Tina Marie Fisco. Charles S. Frisina II. Natalia Ferris. Samuel Getman. Aaron J. Genty. Daniel A. Goldfinger. Caitlin Marie Guptill. Ellen Catherine Haig. Victoria Claire Hall Schwartz. Danielle Harder. Rebecca Harp. Alexander Charles Hobaika. Alexandra N. Hussein. Lorraine C. Jelinek. Marissa Lee Jika. John Judd. Sarah M. Kempf Brower. Anthony D. Kershaw. Kelly Ann Klein. Christine A. Klein. Vincent N. Knuth. Andrew Z. Coe. Megan Teresa Lambert. Megan's diploma will be presented by Professor Gerald Rock. Bo Lee. Gabriella R. Levine. Gabriella's diploma will be presented by Judge May D'Agostino. Christopher M. Levy, in absentia. Justin S. Lowe. Nicholas C. Lozito. Stephen E. Mack. John Main. Kevin Mangard. Andrew J. Matat. Andrew's diploma will be presented by Dean Queenan. Ashley Lynn McDonough. Kathleen L. McKee. Matthew A. McKeegan. Tess M. McLaughlin. Matthew Lee McNeil, in absentia. James P. McPartland IV. Rena Mehta. Rena's diploma will be presented by Professor Mary Lynch. Daryl Metcalf. Jeremy Andrew Millard. Not Millard. Jonathan Moberg. Mary Elizabeth Moran. Glenna Morgan. Morgan Ellen Mueller. Michael P. Musilowski. Alexandra Newcomb. Alexandra's diploma is being presented by Professor Evelyn Tannenbaum. Parker David Niles. Alexander K. Ognenovsky II. Elizabeth Catherine Ognenovsky. Brandon Eric Parshall. Jessica M. Pollock. Claire Louise Pulver. Ryan Wayne Reneker. This is my other son. Tyler Clark Robbins, and new arrival. Noel. Morgan B. Rowland. Morgan's diploma is being presented by her mom, Stacy Rowland, class of 1990. Desiree Santos. Kyle A. Satchel. Joshua Scrivini in absentia. George B. Sexton. Travis J. Shatra and family. And he worked full-time, too. Robert Somm. You can. Kessie St. Louis. Alexander Woods Tesserario. Alexander's diploma is being presented by Professor Pat Connors. Caitlin M. Thomas. Kevin Francis Tremper. Aristeas Javaris. Brianna Ashley Vaughn. Brianna's diploma is being presented by Assistant Dean Nadia Castriota. Samantha Victoria Vetter. Samantha's diploma is being presented by Professor Rock. Katrina N. Vollmer. Angela L. West. And last but not least at all, Molly Elizabeth Worden. Congratulations to the class of 2017. You guys are awesome.
It is now my pleasure to introduce one of your own, Daniel Goldfinger, President of the Class of 2017. Daniel.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to start just by saying thank you to Dean Willett. Most of us here were present at the school when she took over the helm of leadership, and what a great job she's done. From judges to lawyers to scholars to Supreme Court justices coming to speak with us. So, Dean Willett. Good morning, Albany Law Class of 2017. I want to thank everyone for being here today, the families, the friends, significant others, faculty, staff, law school administrators, board of trustees, and all others in attendance. It is my great honor to address you today. So my first order of business is to present the Friend of the Class Award. And this year's winner of this prestigious award is Professor Patricia Rehan. Rehan, Turkish, Goldfinger, Ashkenazi Jewish. Originally, I had written a long list of Professor Rehan's amazing credentials, and then I spoke with her, and I said, and we kind of talked, and I decided I'm not going to say things that you can get from a Google search. So Professor Rehan taught at Albany Law for many years, but in 2004, she was forced to put her teaching aside to care for her husband, who was quite ill. After being gone for more than 10 years, she returned to Albany last spring. I had the pleasure of being in her first class back when she came back as a professor. She was certainly not rusty after many years of being away from the classroom. She was shot out of a cannon, and most of you were there. Her enthusiasm and spirit instantly became legendary among our class, And Professor Rehan keeps you on the edge of your seat with her intellect, command of the law, but also her ability to make some of the most difficult subjects interesting and enjoyable. I received lots of words from all of you describing interactions with and appreciations of Professor Rehan. One of you said she requires a lot from her students and provides just as much in support and passion. Another of you said she is wildly intelligent, enthusiastic, engaging, and professional. She really respects her students and cares about teaching us. She served as the faculty advisor and coach for one of our moot court teams, and she never misses an event at the law school. So every member of an executive board knows this. If you're having an event, she is there, which is awesome. Her dedication to all of us is why she will forever hold a special place in our hearts and minds. Professor Rehan has been back with us for only 1 year, and she has already won this award because of her impact on all of us. I want to thank her on behalf of the entire class of 2017, and I'd like to invite her up to say a few words.
When Mr. Goldfinger came to my office to tell me of the great honor of being selected as the friend of the class of 2017, I said to him something that I may have said once or twice in business organizations, and that is, Mr. Goldfinger, why are you wrong? I'd like to take a couple of moments to explain through my gratitude why this is all wrong from my standpoint. I came back here in November of 2014, and I was one sad person, and I was pretty lost, and I was really scared. And I was just scared because I was starting life over again. I was scared because I didn't know how to use the technology. Ms. Harp and Ms. Vaughn will tell you I still don't know how to use the technology. In fact, the day before I taught my first class coming back, I did a practice run in the East Wing and had them show me how to turn on the lights and bring down the screen and all that sort of thing. And the next day I walked into class and faced many, many of you, called on Mr. Dwyer, and we were off to the races. Many of you, almost all of you law students, know of the concept of a safe harbor. I won't call on you to explain that unless you'd like me to. A safe harbor has a legal meaning and it has a nautical meaning, but I'd like to tell you what it meant to me. A safe harbor to me is a place where when you're there, you know you're going to be okay. And that's how I felt about you. I knew with you, I was sorry about this, I knew I was going to be okay, and I felt that from the first day of business organizations to the last day of this last semester. A few of you have been in my office, and you know I don't have anything on the walls. This will go on my wall, and when I look at it, I will think with a little bit of pride that you thought of me this way, but mostly I will think with incredible gratitude for what you've meant to me. So thank you very much.
So my second order of business is to tell you what the class gift is. I want to thank all of you. I know it's difficult when you're a law student and we're all broke and we're hungry and we're tired. And, you know, bringing $20 in to give to the cause is irritating, but we did it. And for our class gift, we're getting these great portable power stations. Anyone that has been a TA in the foyer or tabled in the foyer knows you're always hovered around the outlet wherever it is. So these actually are portable. They plug in. They have tons of you know, adaptability to charge laptops and tablets and everything. So they're going to be really, really useful for the students coming up. So it's usually at this point in the speech when I should give you some sort of inspirational quote about how to successfully navigate life or become better people. But all that comes to mind is comedian Stephen Wright, who said, "I busted a mirror and got 7 years bad luck, but my lawyer thinks he can get me 5. It's a funny line, but I think it also has special meaning to us. As some of the other speakers mentioned, the difference that we make for our clients can affect their lives forever, and in the end, maybe just change their luck for the better. I am so excited to see the great work all of you will do in your communities, in your courts, in your firms. It is a great honor to join those that have preceded us by receiving a degree from this prestigious academic institution. All of you have come to know our alumni network is incredibly strong and loyal. Now that New York has become a member state of the UBE, I believe this alumni network will spread its wings to all corners of this great nation, even more so than it already has. Although we are beginning a new chapter in our lives that will keep us busy and take us to amazing places, we will always have the memories of the past few years we have spent together. We will continue to be students, regardless of how many years go by. We will continue to keep our hearts open to adventure, and we will uphold the principles that we have learned. Also, let's not forget, there will be reunions, so we can come back, we can catch up with each other, we can find out how we're doing, and you guys can see how many more kids I have by then. It has been a true privilege for me to call all of you classmates, and it will be a wonderful honor to call you colleagues. I want to thank all the faculty that have helped us get here today. I want to thank Mr. McCraw for giving that riveting speech. Congratulations, Albany Law School, class of 2017. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you, class of 2017. This is a wonderful legacy from your class, and we thank you. Now, please welcome the president of our National Alumni Association, Patrick Jordan, class of 2002.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm going to be brief so that everybody can get on to the festivities planning because it's exceptionally hot under these things. Thank you, parents, spouses, family, and honored guests. Congratulations, Judge DiAgostino, on your well-deserved honorary degree. Thank you, class of 2017. On behalf of the National Alumni Association, I am pleased to be one of the first to say congratulations and welcome to the Albany Law Alumni Network. We are over 10,000 strong. We have alumni working in 49 states. We just can't crack North Dakota. So if any of you want to go and work there, it'd make my day. Our alums are governors, mayors, attorney generals, district attorneys, solo practitioners, and business leaders. Our alumni network includes your commencement speaker today, David McCraw, Dean Willett, many on this stage, and some of those in the audience as well. 2 current members of the Court of Appeals are Albany Law graduates, and 292 other alumni currently sit as judges throughout the country. That's an outstanding number. Remember that there is a good chance that the judges you will be appearing in front of are actual fellow alumni. As members of this network, you will run into, work with, against, or even for other alumni. These individuals know what it means to make it through this law school and will give you the benefit of the doubt in your dealings. Take advantage of the many alumni who are willing to assist you in your careers, from advice in handling a case to opportunities for professional growth. This is a great law school, and I hope that your relationship with Albany Law grows even stronger after today. Just remember that as a lawyer, nothing is more important than your reputation. The law school's strength and reputation is not based solely on graduation and bar passage rates, but also on the accomplishments of our alumni, which I am sure you will greatly add to in the years to come. Justice Cardona, one of the first judges to take me under his wing, used to say, "Work hard, treat people fairly, and the rest will take care of itself." If you can follow those words, everything will be fine. On behalf, on behalf of the National Alumni Association Board of Directors, I wish you the best of luck on your studies this summer and in taking the bar exam, and I look forward to hearing about your future successes. Congratulations, class of 2017.
Thank you, Patrick. Now, the only thing that stands between you and a party is me. And as Dean Ouellette said, this is my last gig as the chair of the Board of Trustees, so you have to indulge me for 2 brief minutes. I was struck by the fact that woven through all the remarks today of all the speakers was the theme of courage. And I was struck by it because last night at our trustee dinner, in the remarks that I made to our board, I quoted Winston Churchill. Some debate that this was uttered by Sir Winston, but it's about courage, and I think it's a great piece of advice. And so I'm going to say it to all of you. As the story goes, after the end of World War II, elections were called in the United Kingdom, and Sir Winston was tossed out of office. Churchill, through his personal courage and perseverance, had a lot to do with saving the United Kingdom from the Nazis. And yet he was tossed from office in the very first elections following the war. And as the story further goes, in his concession speech, he said, "Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. All that matters is courage." So the advice to all of you is, if a door opens, take a chance. If you're down on your luck, show some courage. If you need some help, come back and see us. When you have successes, celebrate them with us. I ask everyone to join us for a brief reception at the Hall of Springs, located directly behind the amphitheater. I would like you to please remain in your seats until the recessional is completed, or we will have complete pandemonium. As chair of the Board of Trustees, it's been a privilege to share in today's special ceremony with the law school community, friends, families, as we honor Albany Law School, and it's been a distinct pleasure for me to serve as your board chair for the past 4 years. I turn the torch to Jim Hacker, who will succeed me on July 1. And with that, I hereby close this 166th commencement of Albany Law School.
see you all bright.